I really love about Kings Island is the effort they've put into their theming and how different areas of the park tie together and even to other parks. To start, Kings Island is designed to follow a clover-shaped format. Coming in on International Street and making your way from left to right, there's the Action Zone, soon-to-be Adventure Port, Coney Mall, Rivertown, and finally, Planet Snoopy. Kings Island does not fail to get you immersed right off the get-go with how gorgeous International Street is, with the fountain and all the different buildings, such as Grain and Grill, French Corner, and who can forget the Eiffel Tower. Seriously, if you've not made your way up to the top of the tower, you've got to. It has some of the most stunning views of the park that you're just not going to find anywhere else. Outside of Planet Snoopy, which I don't think I'm going to get into very much for the purposes of this video, Action Zone, I think, is Kings Island's biggest opportunity for improvement on theming. Back in the Paramount days, Action Zone did have great theming with the Paramount IPs. In Vertigo was Face Off, The Bat was Top Gun, and there was a movie set themed stunt show performed off of a water tower. It was indeed an Action Zone. Now, today in Vertigo is just in Vertigo. Top Gun has inherited the name of its predecessor, with the long walk back to it passing the former Son of Beast station that now sits empty as Outpost 5 has nothing alive in it. Now that the focus is turned over to the Haunted Hill Estate with Banshee. Banshee is an absolutely beautiful roller coaster with a gorgeous color scheme. Seeing the cemetery as you walk through the queue with Son of Beast's Eternal Flame is wonderful and a beautiful homage to what once sat on the plot. Even the lampposts match the theme of the ride. Not to mention that beautiful Banshee scream you hear as the train reaches the top of the lift hill. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Banshee is probably the most stunning ride in the park, and I love taking pictures of her. So I'm really curious to see what the park could do if they leaned into the paranormal vibe they already have going on around the park and overhauled Action Zone into its own paranormal niche to fit with Banshee. At the time of recording this, not much is known about Adventure Port yet besides what the park has told us. The overhaul of the Oktoberfest area is leaning heavily into Adventure Express's theme, plus enhanced theming for Adventure Express itself. From the park's website, the myths of an ancient civilization and its mighty city carved out of stone have lured travelers from around the globe to this bustling port community for more than a century. The new area will feature Cargo Loco, a spinning ride where Aero Cargo Company takes you for a ride as you get your goods from point A to point B. And Soul Spin, a recently discovered mechanism that appears to be an immense sun disk created by an ancient civilization. Climb aboard these open-air suspended passenger vehicles to experience the thrill of flying 60 feet through the air at 25 miles per hour. So I'm really curious to see how and if they tie this section of the park in with Area 72 and Rivertown at all, besides the fact that Adventure Express is Outpost number 2. Outpost number 2 has the theming of an incident occurring in 1991 that caused Track 2 to be closed due to a rare excavation of cursed tunnels. Adventure Express takes you under the station, through snakes and arrows, through tunnels all the way up until the final lift hill, where statues pound their drums as you ascend into the station? Look, I'm not going to question it. We made it out alive, and that's what matters. The statue at the end of the ride pours his lava onto you and says, "You've disturbed the Forbidden Temple. Now you will pay." I'm quite excited to see how this area is fully advanced in its theming once it opens up later this summer. I don't really have a ton to say about Coney Mall. It's exactly what it says it is. It's your traditional Coney Island type section. We have the Racer, one of the park's opening day attractions, noted for its reignition of passion for coasters in the United States, and all of your family type flat rides, Monster, Scrambler, Dodge 'em, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, Zephyr, and even Windseeker. It's truly a great family section of the park, and I love spending time in this section. But what I love even more in this section is that weird radio van that sits just outside the Zephyr exit.
Around Hangar 18, the main structure on the base, and its classified contents.
It was simply
Major
an
Jill
extension
Turner
of
is
Coney.
post-command.
And boy, am I glad they didn't leave it at just that. When Firehawk was relocated to the park from Geauga Lake in 2007, the area became X-Base. Following Firehawk's closure in 2019 to make room for Orion, the area once again went under a transformation. becoming Area 72, in reference to Area 51 in the park's 1972 opening year. In 1995, a crater was found behind the racer, with plans to build the Outer Limits Flight of Fear.
Here we go. Let's tape it up right here. Okay. Go ahead and take those corners up there. This is unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, this appears to be a pictogrammatic communication similar to those sent by NASA in some of our deep space probes. These markings seem to indicate a journey, but not a straight linear path. This path includes multiple inversions on the paragrammatic scale. And look at this. These logarithmic proportions, they indicate an incredible acceleration curve. And this marking here, this must indicate some sort of spaceship. Now the coordinates here are unclear, sir. Oh my goodness.
Opened in 1996, it would be the first, alongside its sister attraction at King's Dominion, roller coaster to use LIMs and launch 0 to 54 miles per hour in just 4 seconds. Hangar 18 would be built to house this new attraction. Inside, the queue takes guests past signs of designated off-base substations, where unusual activities have occurred. Miami River Valley Lumber Company, Sycamore Mine, Outpost 2, Outpost 5, and Haunted Hill Estate. Once fully inside the building, guests are greeted by an alien spacecraft and TVs discussing what may have happened here. Scientists are running tests on the vessel while others believe it's a hoax and lets riders, aka the press, in for viewing. Upon entering the station, riders can see human-sized cryogenic tubes lining the walls before being greeted by an empty train entering from another room. In 2020, a meteor landed in front of Hangar 18. Orion would be ready for takeoff. Orion's queue houses Outpost 7 and 87, in reference to the fact that it sits on Firehawk's Land, which opened in 2007, and the recently closed Vortex, which opened in 1987, in reference to the fact it sits on Firehawk's Land, which opened in 2007, and the recently closed Vortex, which opened in 1987. As riders make their way into the queue, they are greeted by a thermal camera as they enter the Fort Mason Research Compound, formerly the Firehawk Photo Station. From here, riders follow through the switchbacks past blue containers, all of which are references to other rides. Radium XL200 being Magnum at Cedar Point, Metamorphic VTBC in reference to the former Volcano the Blast Coaster at King's Dominion, Igneous 12E in reference to the former Disaster Transport at Cedar Point, and Sedimentary 325 referencing Carowind's very own Giga Coaster. These containers themselves are actually the pedestals from the Royal Fountain following its 2019 overhaul. Next, riders pass through the Research Center building that has TVs explaining the importance of the Orion launch sequence. The Orion launch sequence is made up of the significant aspects of different rides in Kings Island's history, such as in Vertigo, Flight of Fear, Firehawk, and other past rides. On the walls and lockers throughout the building, we see even more nods to other rides past and present all over the place. Some ones of interest are the paw print near the Sycamore Mine outpost, Hanover Hill, Orchard Market in Doswell, Virginia, and a picture used in the Flight of Fear Media Day coverage, a track with 3 loops leading up to a UFO. Keep an eye out the next time you're in the area and see how many you can find. Area 72 really pulls off this government space research theme really well, and I love the way they incorporate it throughout the park. When you're out on different coasters as well, make sure you pay attention to see if you can find each outpost station sign. Area 72 really pulls off this government space research theme, having that weird radio van just outside the area guessing about the existence of aliens and weird happenings around the park really helps bring it all home, especially as we move into the next area.
Warning, do not enter. White objects about the size of 2 jewels
the Miami River Lumber.
Repeat. I'm still confused trying to figure out exactly
Kings Island founder Gary Walks wanted to honor Cincinnati's rich history of being on the water, thus Rivertown was born. In 1979, a beast was unleashed.
7,400 feet of unrestrained terror. In a 70-mile-per-hour attack on your senses, the beast throws you screaming through 3 tunnels, takes you higher than any other coaster. Come face to face with the beast. The Beast.
Miami Mining and Minerals Company was in need of help. In short, due to the increasing occurrence of mysterious noises, inexplicable tremors, and vicious acts of vandalism within these premises, it has become necessary to suspend the normal operations of this company. Let the foolhardy beware. The so-named beast appears to be very much alive and intent upon conquering all who oppose him. Nothing the imagination would be able to inflict such terror upon the human soul. All volunteers will kindly apply by entering the employment office. At times, it may be necessary to await recruitment at the observation area to the left of the office building. Thank you, and may the Lord have mercy. Station signs warn riders to remain inside the vehicle as the beast is always lurking in ambush. As riders turn out of the station, they can get a glimpse of the Sycamore Mine outpost sign, an abandoned mine facade, before heading up the lift hill onto their ride ripping through the woods. In 2009, the next monster would slither its way into Rivertown. The wooden sign out front warns riders to not make sudden moves as there are snakes in the area. And don't forget that steep incline of 230 feet. 2017 introduced guests to the Miami River Lumber Company. During the 2016 season, guests noticed fencing appearing, warning guests of falling lumber. It would be later announced in July that Mystic Timbers would be the park's next roller coaster. Outside of the entrance, a crashed truck plays a radio station with a host telling of hauntings in the area.
Warning, do not enter. White objects about the size of 2 jewels. Order for Miami River Lumber Company. Repeat. I'm still confused trying to figure out exactly.
This truck references other rides such as Banshee and Beast, and also plays music at different times. Guests enter the station and board into trains that are designed to look like the truck that is crashed out front. As riders ascend the lift hill, they are warned to not go into the shed. Once riders reach the top of the lift hill, they are warned one last time. Whatever you do not go in the shed, before they take off into their ripping journey over Whitewater Canyon and through the woods. When guests arrive to the shed, they are met with a stumbling voice that eventually tells them to go in the shed. When the next train has left the station, riders will be met with the monster that appears on the screen. Once the next train has departed the station, riders are met with their monster. There are 3 options. Most commonly, snakes in reference to Diamondback, bats in reference to the bat, and finally, Mystic Timbers' very own tree. Riders can only assume that the beast that has taken over the shed has been there since the 80s, as every song that plays is from the 80s. Maneater by Hall & Oates, Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, Cars by Gary Newman, and Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Boys Town Gang. Truly, I think Kings Island does amazing with their theming, and does great with the subtleness of their paranormal niche. Everything is tied together, you just have to be looking for it. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. It is amazing, and I think they have truly put the work in. And I can't wait to see how they further expand. Oh my god, hi, it's me. You didn't see my face for that whole 13 minutes. So I just wanted to hop in here and say, hi, how are ya? I hope you enjoyed the video. This is very new for me. I don't make long-form history videos. If you followed me on TikTok for any amount of time, you know the longest I've done a history video for is 3 minutes. But I really love the theming they do at Kings Island, so I wanted to share about it and make it pretty comprehensive. Like, I'm sure I missed stuff, but I didn't want it to drag out forever and everybody be like, oh my god, Taylor, shut up. You know? But, you know, this is my first time doing a video like this, and I hope y'all enjoy. If you have any comments, critiques, criticisms, just want to share what you've noticed at the park, let me know, because I'd love to hear it, and I want to talk about the park with everyone. So yeah, again, hope you enjoy. I want to make more videos like this. Let me know what you want to see a history video on. Let me do them more in depth. Like, I want to get into this, you know? So again, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time.